And
well, let's talk about Rhetorica a little bit, because I'm wondering, as you describe it, if the final test of Rhetorica is if it works, it's true. I mean, lies, distortions, fear-mongering. I mean, what you're trying to do is win the debate, and you can do it by whatever means necessary. Well, so how do you call those things truth?
Well, there's a question as to whether we should refer to opinions, regardless of how many people agree to it, as true. And I worried about this till I realized that the way we use the word in a debate is we argue as to who has the truth.
Well, that's true.
Yes, that is true. Anyway, they use the word. I don't say that they have the truth. They say they have the truth.
Absolutely. Yes.
And for example, in the political founding instrument of this country, it says we hold these truths to be self-evident. They use the word truth, even though they're arguing for political things. They're arguing that we should have a free and open society and things of that nature. That is true, that we should have a free and open society, that we should have a democratic process where each citizen is a full citizen. But if you think about bringing mystica or any ideology or any faith-based truth into that process, it becomes inauthentic. It is not validly Rhetorica.
Well, in your discussion in the book, you say that the defense against demagoguery and deceit, all those good things I mentioned just now, is a free press. I mean, that's the way, within a democracy at least, we enable Rhetorica to work.
Yes.
As a check on it. Well, that's troubling too, because
the free press is free.
The free press is something that is a bit. I mean, it's scary if that's what the success of democracy depends on for Rhetorica to work, because one, you have ideological press who are arguing for a particular political perspective in a mystical kind of way. Fox News. Then you have commercial TV, which is dominated by the commercial interests. And limits content there as well. I mean, do you see a danger to the free press in our?
Well, here's an example of a danger to free press. My book. What we are hoping for is that the editorial process will clean away the worst parts of the press. That the editorial boardroom operates within a rhetorical process to set up rules for debate and rules for reporting, and the degree to which we have good rules, we will have better reporting. Now, the problem you point to is just, I think, in a way, the tip of the iceberg, that the press editors, be more specifically, have ideological positions they're defending, which is historically true.
On both sides of political perspective.
What you're hoping for there is that your audience is educated enough to be able to see through irrational arguments, for example, argument ad hominem, that they can see through this and understand that they're being misled. That's what you hope, that the audience is educated enough not to be swayed by the false arguments or partisan arguments, that they can sort this out. If you can imagine somebody watching Fox News for 10 minutes and then flicking over to MSNBC for 10 minutes, you would have this notion that either one side was ideologically true or the other one was, because they agree on so little.
Right.
But an educated person might be able to glean from both of them things they could not get from the other one, and that's what you hope for. But when I said it's the tip of the iceberg, the real problem is today we publish in a marketplace with no editors.
Hmm.
Anyone who is a writer, or a reader for that matter, would have recognized over the past 50 years that something has happened to publishing, that people today write books that aren't even edited for grammatical errors, much less logical errors. And the editorial process has turned out to be too commercial, that everyone wants to publish a tell-all book or a biography of a celebrity. Their concern for factual nature of it only concerns them to the degree which it might affect sales. If they're afraid that sales will suffer, or that they will get sued, then they attend to those issues. As to the quality of the work, the arguments made, the persuasive tactics of the book, they leave that to the author. And even today, they leave the marketing of the book to the author. You know, the press, the publishers out there. If you submit a manuscript, the first thing they want to know is, how are you going to sell this?
Yeah.
Who is your audience? How will you sell it? So the publishing industry no longer does good editorial work. And to make it even worse, we have a lot of opportunity today for people to publish their own work.
Oh, yeah.
And we have on the internet 90% junk, I would roughly estimate, and 10% that would fit within one of the 4 domains as a tested and established truth. But that's, of course, obvious to anybody who is our age, whereas someone younger might think it's always been this way. That we've never had a quality of editing that was better than we have today. In fact, many people, even Al Gore, argues that the free exchange of ideas in the internet, of bringing ideas out and saying what you think and debating with others, will lead us to some sort of rational truth or logical truth. And in fact, if you watch a blog site, most any of them, what you see is people who don't know arguing with people who don't know.
That's right.
And in this age of information, you'd think everyone would be concerned with getting people airtime who know. But if you watch a channel on TV, and there are some, where they concern themselves with something other than celebrity ideas and people who have become famous for being famous, who are just offering their views, if they reject that and say, we want to call in not the foolish people to debate wildly with each other, but we want to pull in a clear expert in this subject matter to debate with another clear expert. This happens on one channel only on my television. I don't know about others, but the news hour tends to pit a rational discussion against a rational discussion, such that the debate, and again, it is usually a debate and a persuasion you're dealing with, it tends to be for people who don't enter with their mindset so firm that they can't hear but one side. It attracts people who want to hear both sides. And so I think in that sense that we can have a greater respect for the result of debate and persuasion when we feel like we're hearing it from the brightest and the best in the field, who are not there to sell a doctrine, but there to offer you vetted information, often drawing very tight logical arguments or delivering very firm data on the subject for you to think from, rather than just their doctrinaire opinions on the subject.